Kuria, a Trojan horse in William Ruto's camp. Or let me put it plainly. Is Moses Kuria a mole planted by President Uhuru Kenyatta and the system to spy on William Samoei Ruto's camp and provide inside information? Or is Moses Kuria just a rebel who has decided to go against President Uhuru Kenyatta by supporting William Samoei Ruto? That's one question which Kenyans have been asking. And for those who follow the politics of this country very closely, on Thursday last week, there was a news headline which was fake. And that news headline was captioned, the double agent. And it had a huge photo of Moses Kuria accompanying that headline. It was fake. And Moses Kuria took it and posted it also on his Facebook page. Desperation moves in. But the question is, because this is something Kenyans have been asking, is Moses Kuria a mole, a Trojan horse? Or is it just someone who is supporting the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto wholeheartedly with his heart? Because one thing I keep on saying, and I will repeat it again here, in politics, everything is normally designed to happen the way they happen. And there's no coincidence. So the people who generated that headline, that fake headline, wanted to achieve certain political objectives. So whether they achieve those objectives is something I still can't tell as at now. But for those who have been following this channel very closely, a few weeks ago, I told you the story of a lady called Rachel. If you missed it, let me repeat. Rachel is one of the subscribers on this channel. She's based in the United States of America. Rachel has always insisted to me that Moses Kuria is actually a mole planted in William Ruto's camp by President Uhuru Kenyatta and his handlers. I've always disagreed with Rachel on that. And the reason she told me this, the reason I raised this the other time, because Kenyans had actually started pointing out that Moses Kuria could be a mole. And last week, Rachel came again and told me something which shocked me. For those who follow politics, last week, President Uhuru Kenyatta engineered the removal of Professor Kithure Kindiki as the Deputy Speaker at the Senate. Professor Kithure Kindiki has been and was and is actually a close friend of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And because he's supporting the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto, he was kicked out. And a day after he was kicked out, the allies of the Deputy President went and paid him a visit at his home. And according to Rachel, there was the presence of Moses Kuria amongst those who went there. And Rachel was telling me something, that Moses Kuria is actually doing a fantastic job for the kingdom. He's ensuring that once a mission has been completed, the way the mission of removing Kithure Kindiki had been accomplished, he ensures that they are well documented. So he went there actually to just confirm that the mission had been completed, and he took photo to document all that. And from that moment, I gave up on Rachel on those particular matters. Rachel is a serious lady based in the United States of America. But now back to the main issue. Is Moses Kuria a mole? And why are people doubting Moses Kuria? For us to understand this, let us go back into history a bit. Who is Moses Kuria? Moses Kuria is the member of parliament for Gatundu South. That's the same constituency which was represented by the first president of the Republic of Kenya, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. That's the same constituency which was represented in parliament by President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2002 and 2007. But how did Moses Kuria manage to win the seat? There was a by-election after the guy who took over from President Uhuru Kenyatta died. This guy was called John Ngugi. But something very interesting also happened. Moses Kuria was easily voted in with the support of President Uhuru Kenyatta. That was in 2014, I think. Because Uhuru Kenyatta by that time was the president of the Republic of Kenya. And Uhuru Kenyatta wanted people who could tame Raila Amolo Odinga. So they brought in Moses Kuria. Remember, Moses Kuria really campaigned for Uhuru Kenyatta. And once Uhuru Kenyatta took power, Moses Kuria was aliwekwa kando. So when this vacancy arose, then he was remembered. And in the last election, Moses Kuria didn't really campaign. He was voted in unopposed with the support of President Uhuru Kenyatta. So the expectations of all Kenyans is that because Moses Kuria represents President Uhuru Kenyatta in parliament, he's actually supposed to be the guy who is closer to President Uhuru Kenyatta more than any other person. So with that background, let us look at the people who are perceived to be enemies of the state, or people who are perceived to be allies of the deputy president. Because if you are an ally of the deputy president and you come from central Kenya, then you are automatically a problem and you are sorted. Now let's begin. There was Mwangi Kiunjuri. Where is Mwangi Kiunjuri today? Mwangi Kiunjuri is currently out in the cold. He was removed as a cabinet secretary. But again, if you look at the history of Mwangi Kiunjuri, it's simple. Mwangi Kiunjuri started his political party called the GNU in 2013. And they contested. He contested for the gubernatorial seat in Laikipia. But he failed to win the seat. They managed to win the seat in Nyeri through the late Nderitu Gachagua. But President Uhuru Kenyatta felt that if given a chance, Mwangi Kiunjuri was going to create more problems for them in central Kenya. So the president invited Mwangi Kiunjuri and appointed him as a cabinet secretary in his government. So Mwangi Kiunjuri served as a cabinet secretary in the first term of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And during the second term, Mwangi Kiunjuri wanted to go and contest again as a governor. The president then advised him, don't run as a governor. Wewe kuja tufanye kazi. So, and indeed, the president appointed him again in 2017. But the moment it became clear that Mwangi Kiunjuri was supporting the deputy president, he became a target. And Mwangi Kiunjuri was kicked out. So far, nothing has happened to Moses Kuria, despite open defiance to the president. And that's why people are questioning his role. Then, let's go to Waititu. Ferdinand Waititu was the governor for Kiambu County, again elected in 2017. Kiambu is the home county of President Uhuru Kenyatta. So when Ferdinand Waititu became the face of William Samoei Ruto's campaigns and support in central Kenya, the system decided to stop him. So where is Ferdinand Waititu today? Ferdinand Waititu was kicked out. He's just an ordinary person in this country like myself. But so far for Moses Kuria, he's still safe. And people are questioning why nothing is happening to him. Who is the other person? Let's get another person who is supporting the deputy president from central Kenya. Rigathi Gachagua, the Madeira member of parliament. The other day, all his accounts were frozen and is being investigated by the DCI for money laundering. And they're suspecting he used those companies to conduct some shoddy businesses with the county government of Nyeri and with the national government. And the other day, he was on record claiming that the government is actually targeting him and even going into records to check for businesses which his company did 10 years ago. He's being targeted. What of Moses Kuria? Nothing. Let's go. Kimani Ichung'wah. Kimani Ichung'wah is also opposed to the president and supporting the deputy president. The other day, we know what happened with those poisoned food. I suspected foul play in that. What about the parastatal heads who are perceived to be supporting the deputy president? All of them are gone. Kenyans are asking this because no any other individual from central Kenya has opposed President Uhuru Kenyatta, including even going for the first family, than Moses Kuria. But Moses Kuria is safe. Nothing is happening to Moses Kuria. What is so special about Moses Kuria that the system can't really target him? In my view, nothing. But is there a chance that Moses Kuria is being used? Let's go back to history again. Moses Kuria is on record claiming that he was part and parcel of a team which procured ICC witnesses who procured ICC witnesses to implicate the deputy president William Samoei Ruto during that time. So it means the system used Moses Kuria during that time to implicate the deputy president. Remember, Moses Kuria was actually the director of operations in PNU. PNU was the party of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Despite that, nothing happened to Moses Kuria. The deputy president has not found it wise to suspect this guy. Remember, the main reason why the deputy president and Uhuru Kenyatta are not in terms is because of people like Nancy Gitau. The DP and his team believe Nancy Gitau is anti the deputy president. They don't trust Nancy Gitau. Why? Because Nancy Gitau, they believe, was one of the people who procured ICC witnesses against the deputy president. But why is Moses Kuria safely inside the deputy president's camp, while he has confessed personally that he procured those witnesses? So there's a history of Moses Kuria being used by the system. And in the last election, if you are in this country, Moses Kuria was used by the system a lot to attack Raila Odinga, to attack the system, to attack the Luos. Moses Kuria. That's what he was doing. And currently, there's a bitter war in Jubilee Party. Uhuru Kenyatta dissolved his TNA party and formed the Jubilee Party. So there's a chance, based on what David Murabe claimed, that they can even leave that party for William Ruto and his allies. But on the other side, Moses Kuria is on record that Jubilee Party is dead. And Moses Kuria has gone ahead and formed a political party. And what's the name of Moses Kuria's political party? The name of that party is Transformational National Alliance Party. Basically, it's TNA. Then there's a T at the beginning. Then there is P. So it's basically start with TNA but ends with P. Transformational National Alliance Party. Uhuru Kenyatta's party was TNA. That's the party which the people of Central Kenya knows. So is there a chance that if Uhuru and the team will agree now to leave the deputy president and that Jubilee Party, they are going to find solace in this other party with a similar name of TNA already prepared by Moses Kuria? So the question, Kenyans are just right. Personally, I was doubting, but I've also started thinking so hard that is there a chance that Moses Kuria could be used? Moses Kuria has always been used, even the arrest, because he's also been arrested several times. And those arrests, in my view, are always state engineered. When the state wanted to arrest Junet Mohammed, the Bosia women rep, Florence Mutua, the Malindi women rep then, Aisha Jumwa, the Machakos senator then, Mudama Johnson, they wanted to arrest them, but they couldn't arrest them of hate speech. So they had to look for Moses Kuria, tell Moses Kuria to go and say certain things which qualified as hate speech. So Moses Kuria was arrested together with these guys. So that's how the state has always used Moses Kuria. The biggest question is Moses Kuria currently supporting the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto because he believes in the presidency of the Deputy President, or is he supporting the Deputy President as a strategy to provide information to the system? In the world all over, there's always a Trojan horse, a mole somewhere planted. You will always think that the person is part and parcel of the team. In ODM, in Raila Odinga's campaign during the last election, I was involved a bit, but I was sure of two people who are moles, who are sent there, but you could not touch them. I remember raising concerns about them. Nobody was ready to listen to me until after the elections. That's when those guys, in fact, before the elections, those guys started telling people that people in Kenya, before the elections, they started raising questions like, no, if you are defeated, we should just accept. That's how they started. But outside here, they were the most loyal. They were the most firebrand. So I don't want to rule out the possibility of Moses Kuria being a Trojan horse in Uhuru Kenyatta, in William Ruto's camp. There is no way, in my view, Moses Kuria can be talking the way he's talking. So far, the only case which some people are trying was that CDF. So far, nothing. So far, nothing. If Moses Kuria could go to the extent of mentioning the name of the first family, the way he did, and then he's still free, I want to believe Moses Kuria could be working for the Uhuru Kenyatta's family, because politics is local. There is no way, I can tell you, there is no way the MP for Kibra can oppose Raila Odinga, or the MP for Bondo. No way. Even if they were to be elected on Jubilee ticket, there is no way, because that's the bedroom. Even the Langata member of parliament cannot attack Raila Odinga openly. He can only hide those attacks. But Moses Kuria has been doing this openly. But again, we are in politics. Maybe Moses Kuria has decided that the family of Kenyatta are opposed to him. And because they are opposed to him, he's now just decided to rebel. Because even in the last election, which he was elected and opposed, by the way, he is claiming that the family was supporting someone else. And again, recently, I saw the elevation of John Ngugi's wife to be the deputy governor for Nyeri. And I'm suspecting that, and I did a video on that, that the president is actually laying a strategy to kick out Moses Kuria. Probably, Moses Kuria is likely to be kicked out. But even if that's going to happen, Kenyans will still demand to know whether Moses Kuria is a Trojan horse or a rebel with a cause. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think Moses Kuria is genuinely supporting the Deputy President William Ruto? Or is he being used by the system to appear as one of his key supporters, yet at night sending information down there? Let me hear your thoughts on that. And if you're bumping on this video for the first time, I want to take a second or two and hit the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, you get notified. Thank you guys, and please, may you have a good day.